Welcome back to another AB Daily News with the hockey coach Joe Caufield. Today we want to talk about the Montreal Canadiens news and the recap of the month of October for the Montreal Canadiens. My only news of the day, guys, is about Kirby Dach. He showed on his Twitter account the surgery for his ACL and was successful. He expects to be out for a minimum 9 to 12 months. Hopefully, it's going to be recovery at 100% when he's going to return next year. And 2024-2025. That's all for the news. Let's move on for my second subject of the day. And my second subject of the day is about the AB recap, the month of October. First of all, guys, the record is 5-2-2. They are third in the Atlantic Division and eighth in the standing of the NHL. Really impressive. Let's talk about what works for the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, guys, the goalies. Impressive when you think about this. At 5 versus 5, Montreal Canadiens are number 1 for the goal against. Secondly, they are number 1 in NHL with Samuel Montembeault for the save percentage at 985 at 5 versus 5 for the GVSA. And thirdly, Jake Allen is 5th in NHL goaltender for the save percentage, exactly at Montembeault at this time at 963. Really impressive, the performance of the goaltender. That's the reason Montreal Canadiens got 12 points on the possibility of on the 18 point in October. Yes, what less works for the Montreal Canadiens during the first month of the season? It's the defensive zone coverage. First of all, guys, at 5 versus 5, Montreal Canadiens time possession of opponent team is at 43.2. This is above an average in NHL at 40.7. It's not a good sign for the Montreal Canadiens because they're chasing the puck constantly on the defensive zone coverage. Secondly, they are 5th in the NHL for the block shot at 163. They are number 1 in NHL turnover. They give the puck constantly. They are 105 on the defensive zone since the beginning of the season. This is too much. This could be something could burn them at some point in the next couple of games. Let's move on for the next thing works for the Montreal Canadiens. The power play. The power play, guys, are 14 in NHL at 20%. I know it's not big, but it's already an increasing of 4% compared last season and 2022-2023. One specific player played well on the power play with Cole Caufield is Shone Monahan. 3 goals on the power play. And Madison and Caufield have 5 points in the power play for the Montreal Canadiens since the beginning of the season. What works less for the Montreal Canadiens, guys, of course, is the opposite side of the ice on the short-ended. Montreal Canadiens at this moment are 20 in NHL at 75%. A little bit increasing compared last year at 73.2. And they apply a new system called Diamond. And they have a new players play specific role on the PK. Example like Jesse Allen. And then defensemen like Justin Barron. If you put this all together, obviously Montreal struggle on the PK since the beginning of the season. Let's see another things works for the Montreal Canadiens since the beginning of the season. They are a resilient team. What are you talking about, coach, again? But the Montreal Canadiens, 6 of the 12 points since the beginning of the season, guys, come from when they trail after the second period. They come back many times during the third period, and they find a way to get at least a 1 point, or they win on the shootout or in overtime. And that's the reason, guys, why the Montreal Canadiens are a resilient team. What works less for the Montreal Canadiens? They play with fire. What are you talking about, coach? First of all, guys, they allow 1 goal a plus during the second period on the differential or goal for versus goal again. Secondly, in 5 games of the 9 game are in overtime or in shootout. 4 of the 5 games they got a W come with the time where they have at least 1 power play goal during that game. This is a little bit difficult to keep up that way all year long if they want to be successful. This is the reason I believe they play with fire. Let's move on for another. What works for the Montreal Canadiens? What works for the Montreal Canadiens is Shone Monahan. For me, Monahan is the most consistency since the beginning of the season with the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, he has 8 points since the beginning of the season in 9 games. Since he joined the Montreal Canadiens, in 34 games, he has 25 points. Already have 5 goals this season with the Montreal. 3 of them are the power play and 2 shorthanded. Percentage face-off is 60.5, is number 6 in NHL between all the centers. And finally, he has 5 of his 8 points on the special team. Great performance of the Shone Monahan. Work less for the Montreal Canadiens. Find a right winger for the first line. First of all, guys, try RHP, Anderson, Newhook since the beginning of the season. The best fit they have right now is RHP. But we know RHP should not play on the first line. This is a line right now. Obviously, they're still looking for a right winger to complete Caufield and Zuski together. Another what works for the Montreal Canadiens, guys, is the performance of Caden Cooley and Justin Barons. Cooley, guys, 5 games only. He missed 4 games in the beginning of the season. He played 2 of the 5 games with over 25 minutes per game. He has 3 points in the beginning of the season in 5 games. Plus, he has a +8 and number 1 for the other player for the Montreal Canadiens on this category. And Justin Barron, in 6 games after he was healthy scratch for the first 3 games, he has 3 goals already and a +4. Both of them, guys, are only 21 years old. Patient with them, but could be 2 solid defensemen in the future with the Montreal Canadiens. Finally, I want to finish, guys, with better than my expectation in October. Talking about Jonathan Kovacevic. Kovacevic brings consistency game after game. Play on the 3rd pairing, 2nd pairing, 1st pairing. Change his left defenseman with him whatsoever is Harris, Jacky, Cooley, or Madison. Kovacevic performed very well since the beginning of the season. Veteran players have a good start of the season is Tanner Pearson, 5 points in 9 games with 3 goals. And Brendan Gallagher have 2 goals on his first 9 games for the Montreal Canadiens. Overall, those 2 players have a good start with the Montreal Canadiens. And this concludes, guys, all the subject we have on this episode. Thanks for watching another Ad Daily News with the Hockey Coach, your local friendship. But before we leave, we invite you, please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation live show, and leave us a comment about this episode. And of course, we want to remind you, you have greatness inside of you, and we wish you an amazing, great, blessed day, everybody.